everybody, James Akers here, the tie guy. I'm doing a different type of video today. We're going to be doing some reviews today, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff I bought on my last trip out west. One thing that you'll notice is immediately different is my tie is already tied today. So we're going to talk about this tie as well as a match to this tie, and then we're going to go through, I've got some of the ties here that I just got on my last trip. And today's going to just be a brutally honest review of some of the ties I bought in comparison of some of the brands. And you may be surprised that my view on one particular brand has changed a little bit because of a conversation I had with someone in Las Vegas, as well as the quality of the tie itself. So we'll get to that. But first, let's talk about the tie we have on now. So when I got back from my trip, I was in California, went to Los Angeles. Big announcement coming soon on Los Angeles. And then I was in Las Vegas. Another big announcement coming soon on Las Vegas. I got a lot coming up over these next few months. While I was in Los Angeles, I had to go to Rodeo Drive. So I went to Rodeo Drive and I did a lot of shopping. And then I went to Las Vegas, and I always shop in Las Vegas. I didn't do as much shopping in Las Vegas because I'd already done a lot of shopping, and I was playing some poker tournaments in Las Vegas as well while I was there, and I was working. And it's crazy because I was working on East Coast time, so I'd be up at 5 o'clock every morning in Las Vegas, which is 8 o'clock Eastern, to be on the phone with my assistant, and my days were long, but it's all good. I get back from my trip, and I get an email from Saks off 5th. That's Saks Fifth Avenue's like overstock and last year's items and stuff. That said, get these Salvatore Ferragamo poker ties while they last. Well, I love Salvatore Ferragamo and I love poker, so I thought that's perfect. And so the tie I have on right now is a Salvatore Ferragamo poker tie. And I also bought the other color. They had two colors in stock, green and red. So let me show you this up close real quick. Basically, they call it, it's the poker tie. It's all the different suits of a poker deck. And then it has some of the hearts are made in like a brighter color. Like on the red tie, they're in purple, and on the green tie, they're in blue. On my Instagram, I'll have some close-ups of this whole look I have on now, and I'll go through this look with you at the end of this video as well, so you can match that if you want. But here's what's cool about these ties. These are $200 ties, and I got them Saks off Fifth Avenue for $119.99, so $120. And they're, brand new ties, still had the tags on and everything else. I took the tags off of this one to tie it. And if you know anything about Ferragamo, they tie a really nice full Windsor. See how perfect that triangle is? And they stay put throughout the day. So here's two ties for $240, Italian ties, very high quality. These were not on my shopping trip. I'm just showing you that on the side. And we're going to be doing something special with these two ties in a couple of weeks. I've got a huge announcement coming up where we're doing something special with these ties. So let me hang this up here. It's not where it goes. I'll put them where they go here in just a little bit. I like my ties color coordinated. Now let's talk about the ties I bought on my trip. I also have my receipts from the trip. And so today we're actually going to talk about how much the ties cost. I don't go into that a lot, but we're going to go into that because we're going to talk about some of the ties, are they worth the money, for example. And so we're going to start, excuse me, the first store I went into while I was on Rodeo Drive was actually Brioni. But I've got Brioni back here. I'm going to go over them next to last. I was going to go in the Hermes store first. I'd actually never been in an Hermes store. I've bought a lot of Hermes products on their website, but I tried to go in the Hermes stores when I was in Las Vegas between Christmas and New Year's, and they were all closed. All the Hermes stores, or several in Las Vegas, were closed, I guess for the holidays or whatever. So while I was on Rodeo Drive, I went to Hermes. There's a huge line outside the store, so I went across the street. Brioni's just right across the street and down just a little bit. And I came back to Hermes. But we're going to go to the Hermes ties first. Now, two of these I've already worn and done videos on, but we're going to go over them all. So we have, we bought this beautiful blue. It's blue with the Hermes H's kind of doing a geometric pattern. And this red one I've already tied and worn. This is really cute. It's got circus animals with the H being, the Hermes H being the table. And where the seam is here, where the stitching is, you can see that the tie goes from the animals to just the Hermes H. So those are the two I've already worn. And then here's two I haven't worn yet. These are absolutely gorgeous ties. I loved all these ties. This is why I bought them. And this, the blue one here, it's got the Hermes H that's kind of wide at the bottom. They do a lot of designs with their H's. And then this orange one, it's a really pretty orange. It's got some hidden kind of really faint stripes and just some design work throughout. And they're absolutely beautiful ties. So let's talk about the quality of an Hermes tie. And I'm actually going to take two of them here, and we're going to compare, because Hermes has two different styles of ties, a couple of different styles. They have a thin tie, which is very similar to a Salvatore Ferragamo. Like this one right here, very similar. Actually, let me hang this here, and let me grab this Ferragamo again. This Ferragamo and this Hermes tie are very, very similar ties. They're both about the same thickness, very, very similar thickness. They both feel similar. The Hermes feels a tiny bit softer, and the Ferragamo a little bit just a smoother feel. Very similar ties. Even the length of them, if I'm not mistaken, is very, very similar. The Hermes is a tiny bit longer than the Ferragamo, but very similar tie. So it's a thinner Italian silk tie, or Hermes is French, and I think they use Italian silk. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's a French brand. And of course, Salvatore Ferragamo is Italian. The Hermes is a little bit more plush than a Ferragamo, but then Hermes also has a line of a thicker tie. Now, let me just put these beside each other here on camera so you can see what I'm talking about. It's quite a bit thicker. It's about twice as thick. And it actually has more of a feel of the plushness of like a Brioni, but it's not as soft as a Brioni. So there's your Hermes, two different styles. And I've got some other Hermes, like I've got a green Hermes that's pretty plush. So you can get an Hermes that's got the thin Ferragamo feel or the thick. Now, why would that make a difference? If you are wearing a spread collar, okay, if you have a spread collar and you want a full Windsor knot, then you may want to go with a thicker tie. You know, like you can see how this Windsor doesn't fill up the whole thing. You can go with a thicker tie here versus the thin. I like the thin because I just put it perfectly symmetrical there. So Hermes, let's look at the price on Hermes. Here's the receipt. They give you a long receipt. I bought 4 ties, and the total was $860 plus tax. It was $941.72. They were $215 each tie. Excuse me. So $215 a tie. So you're paying a premium of about $20, $25 versus most of the Italian brands are in that $200, $190 to $200 range. Now all of them went up a little bit. You know, your Ferragamos used to be like $190, now they're $200. Your Zegnas are now like $210. You know, they've all went up a little bit. So $215, you're getting a good quality tie for, I think, a decent price. I actually had a conversation with someone that knows their ties while I was in Las Vegas, which I'll get into in just a minute. And he said, do you think Hermes is overrated or overpriced? And I said, I don't really think so, because I think $200 is a fair price for a good tie. So my opinion on Hermes, it's worth the money because you're getting a premium quality, a very recognizable brand, and you're getting it about the same price as the other ties. Ferragamo's like a $15 difference, and you know I love Ferragamo if you watch my videos. I've got probably more Ferragamo and Zegna probably than any other ties, and I wear a lot of the Ferragamo belts because I love the way their belt buckles are interchangeable. But I actually think the Hermes tie is a step above Ferragamo, so it's worth the extra 15 bucks. That's my take on Ferragamo. Honest reviews, no one pays me for these reviews. No one gives me free stuff. Buy everything myself. Okay. Next place next place we went to Brioni, then Hermes, then went to Ferragamo. Ferragamo, I bought 2 ties in their boutique on Rodeo Drive, and they are absolutely beautiful. So this one it's little ninjas, called the Ninja tie. And it's a bunch of little ninjas, and I'll be wearing this one day, and you'll see close-ups of it. Very well made tie, you know. And then this one here has got the Gansini logo. The Gansini is like that horseshoe type, the horseshoe logo that I have on some of my shoes and belts and stuff. It's the Gansini logo in a light blue, surrounded by white stars on a red tie. It's a beautiful tie. Both of these are absolutely beautiful ties. Almost all Ferragamos are going to be this thinner tie, like I have on right now. Thinner tie, high quality silk. They tie a really nice, tight, full Windsor knot. Now, I would not take one of these Ferragamo ties and tie like a half Windsor or a schoolboy knot, personally, because it's going to be so small. But look how nice it comes together on a full Windsor. So, Ferragamo, and I can say, one thing I'll give you about Ferragamo that I really like. All the Ferragamo ties I have are the same. Meaning they tie the same, they feel the same, they obviously look different. That's important to me if I want consistency. Like if I want my knots to look the same all the time, I know a Ferragamo is going to tie this knot. And if you go through my Instagram, you'll see all my Ferragamo ties always tie the exact same knot. It's very consistent. Then we went to the Zegna store, the Zegna boutique, and found these two beauties. And I'm going to say something about Zegna now. Zegna is kind of like the steady, the snail, if you will, of the luxury brands. I don't mean that an insult in any way. What I mean by that is they're steady. Solid construction. Zegna is kind of like the reliable of all the luxury brands. You know you're going to get a high quality product, you know you can get a good price, and that's Zegna. And you know what, I apologize, I didn't go over the receipt with you on Ferragamo. Let me do that real quick. Give me a second. You know what, I do not have the receipt. I thought I had the receipt for Ferragamo Adult. I think they were $200 a top, if I'm not mistaken. I got the Zegna receipt right here though, so we'll go over the Zegna thing. But Zegna, they make a good quality product, but they're making some changes at Zegna. They're actually going from their branding, instead of being called Emerna Gildo Zegna, they're just going to be called Zegna moving forward. They're changing a lot this year. And their new collection of ties are actually very plush. Most of my Zegna ties are thinner like Ferragamo, and the ones that are plush or thicker are more rigid or a harder material. These actually feel a lot like a Brioni. And there's two brand new Zegnas from their brand new collection. These just came out. Thicker tie, super soft, very luxurious. I gotta tell you, these are the best filling Zegna ties I've ever felt in my life. Price on these guys here, I got the receipt here. They were $210 each. So the Zegna ties are now $210, and so I paid $420 plus taxes, $459.02 for these two ties, and they feel absolutely amazing, like a butter soft silk and nice and plush. I'm actually really looking forward to tying these. Zegna, you're doing a good job. I'm very impressed with the changes that you guys are making over there. These are by far the best Zegna ties I've ever felt, and I have probably close to 100 Zegna ties in my collection. The next store we went to was the Prada store, and I bought two Prada ties. Beautiful ties, very classic ties, very nice ties. Beautiful, a little thinner, or not as thick as or wide as I usually like, a little thinner tie. We have a very classic, if you know anything about me, I like the classic stripes. And then just a classic geometric, and it has the Prada down at the bottom. Now, Prada ties are a little bit thinner. You know, they're actually thinner than even a Ferragamo. They just have a thin feel to them. You can tell that they use a good quality silk, and the construction of them is good. It's okay. But I'm going to go ahead and drop a bombshell on Prada. Not worth the price. Sorry, Prada, not worth it. It's a good-looking tie. It doesn't just have the feel of all these other ties here. Feel way better than these Pradas. And the price tag on these Pradas, though, is what will get you here. I've got it right here. Each tie was $320. With tax, it cost me $350 a piece. $350 a tie, with 320 plus tax. So, if I'm going to pay $320 for a tie, it better be a really high quality tie. Now you may say, well, why did you buy them? Well, first of all, I have a philosophy, if I find something I love, I just buy it. So I went in the Prada store. I love both these ties. They didn't have a lot to choose from, but some of them I didn't like. They were too flashy. And Prada has a lot of ties where they have like the big Prada shield like right here. I just don't like that because I like the classy look. Love both of these ties, so I just told her I'll take them. And then she looks at me and says, I think they're like $320. Is that okay? I said, that's fine, you know. And I was fine with that. You know, I could afford them. I wanted the look of them. However, from a review standpoint, these just don't cut the mustard compared to a $210 or $215 tie. Definitely down at the bottom end of the totem pole as far as luxury brands when it comes to the quality of the tie. I'm not knocking Prada as a brand. I know it's a very prominent brand, a very popular brand, but their ties are not near as good as the other brands, and they're also a lot shorter. They don't have as much length. So if you're going to tie a full Windsor with a Prada tie, you're going to have very little left on the back of the tie. So that's my review of Prada. Again, honest reviews here. It's all I do. I don't give hype or anything like that. Next, Brioni. Now the Brioni store is the first one I went to in Beverly Hills on Rodeo Drive, and it was absolutely a wonderful experience. The ladies that helped me at Brioni were absolutely wonderful. The store manager there, she follows me on Instagram now, and just did a phenomenal job. I looked at their new collection, and they actually even brought out some of their ties that were on sale from the previous season. I bought a couple of those. So I've worn one of these already, but let me just kind of go through them. This video is getting a little bit lengthy, so let me go through these really quickly. I got two that are kind of matching. These are, it's brown and blue with the same pattern, and these are really cool looking ties. They have just a geometric striping throughout. that changes up a little bit off and on, and it's all woven. So it's a very complicated tie, the way they made it, and they did a phenomenal job with that. Blue and brown, absolutely love them. I've already worn the blue one, and then this was probably the highest end of the Brionis I bought, and it happened to be on sale, so I got a good deal on it. This has such a plushness to it, and Brioni ties are nice and thick, nice and plush, and this one is a woven silk tie. It just has a nice, beautiful feel to it. Gorgeous tie. And the other two I got are just a traditional stripe tie. You know I love my traditional stripe ties. And last but not least, this one is their special geometries, I think they call it, or anyway, it's a special geometric tie. Has a lot of just texture and depth to it. Absolutely beautiful tie. It's got different geometric patterns throughout, a few different shades of color and stuff. Absolutely beautiful tie. It feels amazing. I don't have anything bad to say about Brioni as far as the feel of their ties. They are, in my opinion, one of, I'm going to say now, top three. I used to say top two. One of the top three tie manufacturers in the world, in my humble opinion, as someone who owns a huge collection of luxury ties. Brioni is definitely towards the top of the chart. Let's talk about what they cost, and is it worth it? Let me grab my Brioni receipt. Here's my Brioni receipt. I bought 5 ties at the Brioni boutique, and some of them were on sale. So some of them I got for $156. A couple of them I got for $156 because they were on sale. One of them was actually 2 of them were $270, and one was $290. So for a good Brioni tie, you're going to spend $270. So it's definitely a premium product. You're talking $60 more. Excuse me. Sorry, I got a little cough. $60 more than a Zegna. And the new Zegna line, I got to tell you, it feels a lot like, I've got them right side by side right here. Feels very, very similar as far as the quality of it. So the question is a Brioni tie worth $270? I'm going to answer that and say definitively yes. It's a very high quality silk, high quality feel. They tie an amazing knot, and it's a wonderful tie, so I think it's worth it. But when you can find them on sale, that's even better. $156, and $190. 3 of the ties were on sale. They were the previous year, and they just had them in the back, so the girl brought them out for me, and I absolutely fell in love with them. Now, that was my trip to Rodeo Drive. I went to a few other stores, but nothing jumped out at me. You know, I went into several of the other stores, and I couldn't find anything that I really just jumped out, because for me, the ties got to jump out at me. But when I was in Las Vegas, I went to a store I've been wanting to go to for a while, just never had a chance to, which is the Kiton store. And the store manager there, Colin, I hope he doesn't mind mentioning his name on here, freaking awesome dude, by the way. If you're ever in Las Vegas, go see Colin, tell him I sent you. He'll fit you perfect for suit, shirt, everything else. And we got to talk about ties, and he asked me my opinion of the Kiton tie when he found out who I am and that I have almost 40,000 Instagram followers, and I do a YouTube channel and everything else. And I told him, I said, to be honest with you, I think Kiton's overrated. That was what I told him, and he just looked a little surprised. And we started talking. And he said, "Where do you buy your Kiton ties?" I said, "Usually, from Neiman or from Saks." And he said, "Well, it's a little bit of a different silk." He said, "Let me show you what we have." And he pulls out their collection. He was actually wearing this, not this exact tie, this one's brand new, but he was wearing this exact same tie. And and I felt his tie, and he showed me the other collection. Look how thick and luxurious this is. This is thicker than a Brioni. It is so soft. Like, this silk is probably the best silk I've ever felt in my life. And my opinion on Kiton has totally changed thanks to Colin Humble at the Kiton store in Las Vegas, Nevada. He showed me, just the construction behind these. They're all handmade. All these ties are handmade. And this is the best silk I've ever felt in my life. And so I have a newfound admiration for Kiton products. Now, I will say the negative is I've got some Kitons on all 4 of my tie racks here that feel just like a Zegna. Nothing wrong with the Zegna. Zegna's a great tie, as you know. But I paid $190 for the Zegnas, and I paid $295 for the Kiton. So the lesser Kiton, the ones that are the thinner, not quite as soft silk, in my opinion, are not worth the $295 you'd spend versus $190 for a Zegna. But this new line, this baby right here, what I bought at the boutique, and he had a bunch more. I only bought this one because of time. I was in a hurry, but I'm coming back next time in Vegas, going to buy probably a bunch of ties from him, have a custom shirt done, some things like that done from there. But the quality of the tie is amazing. It feels amazing. The price point on this is $330. It's a $330 tie. So the question is, when you compare a Kiton $330 tie, let me pull up the three that feel real similar. Here's a Kiton, a Brioni, and a Zegna. Here's a $210 tie, $270 tie, $330 tie. Is there a big difference between them? And I got to tell you, actually there is. This Kiton, just from the feel, I know you can't feel through the camera, from the feel, feels more luxurious than the Brioni, and I never thought I would say that because Brioni makes an amazing tie. Stefano Ricci's the other brand, very similar. This feels a lot like a Stefano Ricci, and Stefano Ricci's another $270, $280 tie. The Zegna feels amazing. It's just a tiny bit under the Brioni, which is a little bit under the Kiton. So is Kiton worth $330? I don't know if I would fill my entire collection with Kiton at $330 because I mean I can save $100 and buy a different brand, but am I going to be buying a lot more of them? Absolutely. I do think as of right now, this is probably the best made tie I've ever felt in my life is this Kiton right here. So Colin did a good job of excuse me, not convincing me that it's a better tie, but just showing me the quality of that tie versus you know what else I've had. And I got a chance to really get some more information on Kiton as a company and the workmanship and the craftsmanship that goes into their ties. So guys, that's an honest review of several luxury brands. Prada, not worth the money. Kiton, worth the money. That's the bottom line of this review and everything else. The look's going to be scrolling across the bottom of your screen right now. I have on a brown Myrna Gilda Zegna suit. I have on a light blue Isaia shirt with some very faint pinstriping through it. I have on a green Salvatore Ferragamo poker tie with all the different suits, the poker suits of the card deck. I have on a dark brown Salvatore Ferragamo belt with a gold belt buckle and a pair of dark brown Bally Oxfords that just bring this whole thing together. Absolutely love this outfit, and I'm loving what I got here. I hope this review helps you. It's completely unbiased, completely honest review. Check out my Instagram, Tie Guy James Akers. You'll see close-ups of this whole outfit. And on my Instagram, you'll also see close-ups of these ties. I've already posted those on there, guys. Hope you have a great day. I'm ready for work.